Welcome back to the channel. So a good few of you in the comments have asked whether it's possible for Alex Belfield to appeal his sentence. So I thought I would do a short explainer about how appeal against sentences in the Crown Court work. So welcome back. I'm the Black Belt Barrister, helping you to understand law. Well, the first starting point is that there is no automatic right of appeal against your sentence from the Crown Court. This differs from appealing against conviction because there is an unfettered right to appeal against conviction, only needing leave of the Court of Appeal or the certificate from the trial judge. However, as I said, in a case of appealing against sentence, there is no automatic right. There must be what's referred to as a good reason. This we refer to as grounds, i.e. grounds of appeal. For example, one such ground might be that there was an error in law or a procedural irregularity. This is fairly rare. Another ground might be whether the sentence is simply too long. This is referred to in law as a ground of appeal where the sentence is found to be manifestly excessive. But it's worth bearing in mind that this is a relatively high threshold and is only satisfied where the sentence is out of all proportion given the circumstances of the offender and the offence itself. Another interesting point to note is that the prosecutor can also appeal sentence if the prosecutor feels that the sentence was too short, or as it's referred to in the Criminal Justice Act of 1988, where it appears to the prosecution that the sentence is unduly lenient. So let's look at how one goes about appealing against a sentence from the Crown Court. Well, first of all, of course, the defendant would receive advice in writing from a legal representative as to whether there are grounds for appeal, and the appeal, if there are grounds, must be lodged with the Crown Court within 28 days. Once an application's been submitted, one High Court judge will consider all the documents that are available and decide whether or not to grant permission to appeal. If permission is granted, it will go on to be heard orally by a panel of 3. However, if permission is refused on the papers as it's known, because it's the papers that are considered first, then the application can be renewed orally. That means oral representations can be made for permission to appeal. This itself has a time frame and a time limit of 14 days. However, if there's good cause for the delay, which would be in the circumstances perhaps of illness or something of that nature, this can be extended with an application by the defendant as long as they can show good cause for a delay. However, there are several warnings that come along with appealing against sentence. First of all, if the court considers that it is a wholly without merit application, then the court can make a direction known as loss of time, which effectively means that a specific amount of time that's been spent in custody will no longer count towards the sentence. However, perhaps the most serious warning with regard to appealing against sentence is not only the cost implications if the appeal is unsuccessful, but when appealing against sentence, the sentence is at large, meaning if the appeal is ultimately unsuccessful, then the court can pass a different sentence than it passed in the first place, which might well be greater than the original sentence. So other than drafting the grounds of appeal, that's really about it. So in summary, there is no automatic right to appeal against sentence. Permission is required. This is first done on the papers, and if refused, it can be orally renewed. If it is heard, then it will be heard by a 3-judge panel, and if unsuccessful, there can be a loss of time direction, there can be cost implications, and of course, sentence is at large, which means, of course, that the court could even increase the sentence. So as always, this cannot be taken as legal advice. This is just a general overview of how appealing against sentence works if a defendant chooses to do so. I hope you found that useful to answer some of your questions. So if you do, please do like the video and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.